Hey, what's up? I'm Jessie Scotch, and as you can see, I am dressed up like a little bunny rabbit. It's almost Easter time, and I had this idea of making some high protein Easter foods, or some fun ways that you can make Easter food high protein. If you're watching this after Easter, then you can just watch me making high protein foods dressed up like a little bunny rabbit. So I found some very nice recipes that are high in protein and that are very Easter. All of these recipes, they can be for Easter. I think they're kind of Easter just because of the spring vibe, and just because you add Easter eggs. You can obviously make all of these recipes with a different alternative of chocolate, or just taking the word Easter off. So in Australia, well, should I say in the centre of Australia, which is where I grew up, in a little town called Alice Springs, which is literally like smack bang in the middle of Australia. We don't actually celebrate Easter with the bunny, but we celebrate Easter with the bilby. The bilby is a native animal to Australia. Unfortunately, it is becoming endangered. In Australia, rabbits are actually known as pests that were brought over to Australia, and they were kicking all of the bilbies out of their homes, out of their burrows, and then all of the predators would eat them pretty much, and the population of the bilbies have decreased. When I was in school, we would get read this book called The Easter Bilby, and it's pretty much that the rabbits' grandsons are doing a really shitty job and not caring for the native lands of Australia, and then the bilby is going along and taking his time and caring for everyone with the Easter twist. I just thought that this was like a little fun story to tell, that in the middle of Australia we don't actually celebrate a bunny rabbit as the Easter mascot, but we celebrate it with a bilby. So maybe today I'm an Easter bunny, Easter bilby, Easter something with the big long floppy ears. So the first recipe that I found is the 3-ingredient Easter cookies. So for this recipe, they claim it makes 10 cookies, and each cookie has 151 calories, 9 grams of fat, 13 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of protein. They actually have 4 ingredients, but it's a 3-ingredient Easter cookie. This cookie! So to make the cookies, you will need 200 grams of chocolate protein spread. This one only has 200 grams in it. And we also have to garnish the cookies with the spread. So I'm only going to use 150 grams of the spread. It literally just tastes like Nutella. If you're trying to look for an alternative, this one's pretty good. 1 egg. And then it says to mix these 2 ingredients together first. So it's still pretty thick. Next, add 100 grams of flour. I use gluten-free all-purpose flour, and mix until fully combined into a dough. I don't know if maybe I need to use my hands now. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. It's looking like a dough. It's very oily. Roll into 10 balls and lay onto a baking sheet. Press the back of a small spoon into the center of each cookie and create a dip in the middle. Unfortunately, when I was doing this recipe, I somehow overlooked that it made 10, so I just rolled it into 6. So it says to put it into the oven for 8 to 10 minutes at 170 degrees. Once the cookies have cooled, pipe or spoon chocolate spread into the center of each cookie and top with a mini egg and enjoy. Ta-da! Oh, it was cooked for too long. It is so dry. It doesn't really have much flavor to it. It's really dry. It tastes like flour. They're very hard to eat. So I don't know if it was like me, if I overcooked them, because they were so dry. When I bit into it, it was just like dust. It was not enjoyable at all. Also, even though I did try and eat the cookies, they had very, very little flavor to them. They weren't really sweet. There was too much flour in it. So maybe start off by just adding a little bit of flour. But then I don't really know, because when I mixed it, it actually was looking pretty good. So maybe only put it in for 5 minutes or something and test it. I don't know. Maybe just don't do this recipe. It wasn't good. So when I did the recipe, I just divided it by 10, even though I made 6 cookies. I just did it to what their recipe said. Calorie wise, I got 163 calories. Protein, I got 5.3. Carbs, I got 14 grams. And fats, I got 9.3 grams. The cookie was okay. No. The cookie was bad. What am I saying? The cookie was not good. I don't recommend this recipe. So the next recipe that we have are 5-ingredient Easter egg cheesecakes. So this recipe that I found is from a couple of years ago, but I just seen it and I thought it looked so cute. In this one recipe, it says that the macros is for 2 servings. So I don't know, I think 2 servings is one of the Easter eggs in half, and then 2 of those is 2 servings. So That's what I think. So per serving, it has 505 calories, 32.8 grams of protein, 23 grams of fat, and 41 grams of carbs. So first you want to start off by mixing into a bowl 4 tablespoons of light cream cheese and 1 scoop of chocolate protein. Mix them together until well combined. Then break your Easter egg in half. Then we're gonna put in our cheesecake batter. No, wait. We have some digestive biscuits. Rumble up a digestive biscuit inside. Add your cheesecake mixture, I guess, on top. And then with the recipe that I found, it said that you should also add like a protein bar and all this other type of stuff on top. But I just went with, I don't know how you meant to eat it, but the basics. It was actually really, really good. I really enjoyed this. The digestive biscuit with the Ferrero Rocher outside, it just goes so well. And this, because it's like a little bit tart, not too sweet, because the outside is so sweet, it really goes really well together. I think it's definitely important with what ingredients you use. Make sure that they're things that you like. I mean, that's a given, but for some reason, I feel like that's good advice. It goes so well together. All of the flavors and everything, like even the consistency of this top thing just tastes so good. When I did this recipe, I got 40 grams of protein for all of it. I didn't do this half serving, 1 serving is 2 servings, I don't know. Just everything that I used because I ate it all in one sitting. It was so good. You can't stop yourself. Once you have one half, you're gonna eat the other half because it just tastes so fucking good that you just can't help yourself but just smash it. 80 grams of carbs, 56 grams of fat. And so for all of it, it was 1,002 calories. So I guess it's about the same, but only mine had more protein. So I really love this. It was so fucking good. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. All the stars. I really enjoyed this. I would totally make this again. And then next up we have a high protein carrot cake. I mean, carrots, bunnies. Makes sense that it's an Easter dish, right? So you will need 200 grams of carrots grated, 100 grams of oats, 50 grams of vanilla protein powder, 50 grams of grounded almonds. So 200 grams of apple pulp. I use apple mousse, 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, sweetener, and some cinnamon. I also want to put some walnuts in it because I really like when walnuts are in it. I don't know if it needs more cinnamon. Cinnamon, yeah. So I just sprinkled a little bit of walnuts into there as well. Once you put all of the ingredients into a bowl, mix all the ingredients together. That's what the batter looks. Pour them into a baking dish form. So bake in the oven at 180 degrees with top and bottom heat for 40 minutes. Ooh, it looks good. And then once it has cooled down, you will need to mix up the ingredients to make the icing. Okay, so it's the next day. And our cake is definitely cooled down by now, so that's awesome. For the icing, you will start out by mixing, I just mixed a whole container of light cream cheese. Whenever I have carrot cake, I really like when the carrot cake icing is really like lemon and zesty. So I experimented a little, but this is just how we do on this channel. Then I added the juice of 1 lemon, squeezed it dry. Also add some sweetener in there, so I'm just gonna add 1 sachet of the stevia. And I was thinking if I should add like a little bit of vanilla protein powder into it. And then I'm just going to add 1 scoop of protein, but I don't have a scoop, so I'm just going to pour some in there. And then give that a little mixy. I mean, it's looking like icing. Oh, yeah. Okay. Put it on top. Just spread the icing. It's not easy to cut through, so that is already giving me warning alarms. That is actually really good. Like, I just literally made this up right now, but the icing literally tastes like really velvety. It's really like tangy. So it tastes like the normal icing that you have on a carrot cake. I didn't use much protein powder. As you've seen, I just sprinkled it on. So if you do want to recreate this, you can just mix until you like it. This was really, really good. I really enjoyed the flavors to this. I don't think that she gave any macros for this. She just claims that it's high protein, but it is quite high protein. When I just did for the whole cake, it has 93 grams of protein for the whole cake. So that's pretty decent for a carrot cake, or just for any cake, from 93 grams of protein is pretty good. 114 grams of carbs and 46 grams of fat. So 1,281 calories for that whole cake. Regardless of it being Easter or not, this is a really good dessert. And if you like carrot cake and you want to make it high protein and eat it whenever, this is a good recipe to follow. So then we have the high protein bounty eggs. This recipe is from a few years ago. I just wanted to find a creative egg and I really like bounties, so I thought let's give this a shot. She didn't write any macros for it, just said that it was high protein. So with this recipe, she says that you need the cups and all this type of size, but then the grams that she gives aren't what a cup or half a cup or a quarter of a cup is. So I just stuck to the grams. But so now we're making some bounty bars. 80 grams of shredded coconut, 28 grams of coconut flour, 4 scoops of protein powder, which is 35 grams. So I don't know if that was supposed to be per scoop or for all of it. I don't know. 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, a quarter cup of maple syrup, 80 mils, and half a tablespoon of vanilla syrup and milk. Stir until you have a thick dough. Use your hands to shape the dough into patties and place them on a baking sheet and plate. So here are our the bases of our bounty eggs. They kind of look a little bit more like teardrops or maybe some chicken nuggets. We have to put them in the freezer for 20 minutes so then they can get hard. It's the next day. And I left these in the fridge overnight. They're so fucking frozen, man. But yeah. So now we're going to put the chocolate coating on. So then you want to melt the chocolate down. I just did it in a bowl with some boiling water on the stove. Dip each coconut patty into the melted chocolate and place on the baking tray. And yeah, I ran out of chocolate for them, but I have a feeling they're not going to taste that good, so I'm just going to leave it with the chocolate that they have on this one. So I broke the macros down to make 6. For each one, it has 8 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, and 18 grams of fat. And it is 256 calories per serving. I still haven't tried them yet. Looking, I mean, does it look like an egg? Tastes like coconut vanilla middle with chocolate outside. It's definitely giving me a bounty vibe. I actually really like it. I think that it's not too sweet, but it is a little bit sweet. It tastes a little bit more like a coconut cake than like a bounty, because I think a bounty is a lot more coconut in there. But maybe if I use the coconut protein powder like they said and not the vanilla, then it would taste more like it. It's still a really nice little treat if you wanted to make protein balls or protein bars. The macros aren't that good, but it tastes good. And now we save the best for last. So this one seems to be like the popular recipe of this season. It is none other than the Reese's Pieces inspired Easter egg, which is high protein. They claim that it has 19 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat, 11 grams of carbs, and it is 185 calories per egg. So it's like a protein bar, protein ball. So to make the Reese's filling, you will need half a cup of Greek yogurt. So it says to add half a cup of monk fruit, but I just forgot about this ingredient. So we're just going to put 1 packet of the stevia in it and just hope that it doesn't overpower it all, I guess. So 1.5 scoops of peanut butter protein powder, half a cup of peanut butter powder, a pinch of sea salt, and milk to consistency, 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. Smells so good. And scoop into balls. Shape balls into egg shape and freeze until balls harden. So that is how they are looking, and we're just going to put it into the freezer now for 20 minutes. Again, I left them in overnight, so they were definitely hard. So then you want to melt the chocolate chips and the coconut oil. So there's our lovely little Easter egg shapes. Looks more like a teardrop, but dip them into the chocolate and coat them. And there you have it. So I still haven't tried it yet, so we're going to try it now together. So this is our little egg. I don't know if it's looking so much like an egg. Maybe. It tastes exactly like a Reese's. Wow. If you're obsessed with Reese's Pieces and you're on a fitness journey, 10 out of 10. This is really, really good. And you don't have to make them just for Easter. You could just make these into protein balls, into protein bars, make them into protein hearts, make them into protein stars, make them into protein peepees. I don't know. Make them into whatever shape you want. But if you like Reese's and you like to make shapes, this is a good recipe. So the macros that I got for the Reese's, I just divided it by 6 because mine made 6. So obviously if you want to make them smaller or bigger or whatever, then whatever. But for the protein, I got 23 grams of protein, so that's pretty decent. For the carbs, I got 18 grams. So for the fats, I got 12 grams. And per serving, it came to 275 calories. Good. It's so good. Wow, guys. Out of all of them today, so many of these recipes worked. I don't even know how to pick which one was my favorite. The Easter egg cheesecake, that was really, really good. Also, the carrot cake was really, really good. And then the Reese's Pieces egg was really good. All of them are 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. So I don't know, I can't really pick a winner. I would have to say I feel like the video today was super successful. I mean, indulge and have a nice time over Easter. I don't think that we need to be counting our macros all the time, but if you're like me, I'm always trying to put extra protein into everything because I have to hit a lot of protein per day. It was a fun, cool little experiment. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed eating all of them. I changed this video up a little bit this time with delivering the macros. So if you preferred this, let me know. Going a little bit more in depth into the macros or just having like a brief description at the end of each recipe. If you're watching this at Easter, I wish you all a very nice Easter break. If you are not, then I wish you all just a nice time in general. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao.
Little Peter Rabbit had a fly upon his nose.